Hey, this is Adam Post. We are live. Very exciting. It's COMICSGATE tonight. Tonight, of course, on the publisher of College of the Dead. It's already shipped. If you don't have your copy, you're the only one. Everybody else has got them already. I'm on with Chimera and the amazing CANALES. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Great to be with you guys. Great to be with you guys. Very excited about your new project. CANALES, you've been on 1,050 projects. You've been all over the place.
I've been in all of them.
How did you draw so much stuff?
I'm the human sweatshop of COMICSGATE.
You're the human sweatshop. Well, I think most of us first became familiar with your work from when you did Iron Sights for Richard Meyer.
Yep, that was comic book making 101 for me. That's when I realized that I didn't have any idea what I was doing.
Really? How did you? Yeah. I want to talk about SOS, but I know people are also very interested in you. Let's talk a little bit about how you wound up meeting Richard Meyer, and then how you also met Chimera and got involved with this project. So how did you first get into working with Richard Meyer on Iron Sights?
Well, it was a case of ascended fanboy. I was just the guy who followed him on his YouTube channel. And I remember he once mentioned that he had this project called Shark, which was kind of like John Wick crossed with this Nicolas Cage movie, in which he can see like one second in the future, so he can like avoid attacks and all that. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, the thing is that this guy had like the power of like seeing the future, which made him like a really formidable foe in close quarters. But in exchange of that, he lost like 1 second of his memory. So it was going to become like this. At one point, he was going to lose all his memories and become like a inhuman killing machine. And I really liked that idea, and I made like a mock-up sequential page for him.
Interesting.
Just for shits and giggles, and I sent it to him, and I was like, "Hey, check this out! I really like your idea for Shark." And he came back to me and told me, "I want to make a comic. Are you interested in drawing it?" And I was like, "Sure, absolutely."
Oh, how cool! Just good timing and good vibes.
Yeah. I mean, I was blown away. I mean, whoa, this guy's he's moderately famous, and he wants to make a comic with me. Wow.
Yeah. So the hot new thing is going to be Chimera and SOS. How did you guys get connected?
Well, this is a project I've wanted to make for years, and it was about last year where I saw Decimators by Iba, and I thought it was perfect because he was able to nail down like the humor and the action. And so I kind of just messaged him, and we've been working it out for the past year to get this made.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we've been in touch for like a year already, right? I mean, we were talking about making this comic since I was still making like the Abductables, I think.
Right.
How many projects are you working on, CANALES?
Let me think. I'm drawing both SOS for Chimera here. I'm also drawing Johnny's Law, which you should probably keep an eye out for, because it's a gun fu story. It's like Iron Sights on steroids. And I'm also let's say pre-producing the second volume of Tombstone Blues with Jacob Morris, probably to be published in 2021. Because he wants to write a novel first.
Interesting. Very cool. Yeah, I know a little bit about Johnny's Law because I know Al, your partner.
Yeah. We actually talked with you about it, right?
Yeah, we did. We did a show
yeah.
One of my first shows a couple months ago, I think it was.
See, this is what happens when you don't get enough sleep.
No, it was a good show, and Al's been great to me. He's been a great guy. He helped me with graphics for my College of the Dead listing and really dressed it up. I mean, he's a great guy. And I'm interested to talk about that. But let's understand a little bit more about what SOS is about. Let's talk about the story of SOS.
So SOS is about 3 super soldiers during World War II. And takes place in present day, so they don't age. They got regeneration, similar to like Wolverine from Marvel. And so they've been bored out of their minds for past 70 some years. And so once demons start invading our dimension, New York, they see it as a perfect opportunity to get back into action. So they set up a monster hunting business.
Were they dealing with monsters in World War II, or they were just super soldiers, straight super soldiers?
They dealt with a few monsters.
Interesting. Cool. Now, I heard you talking about this project, and the first thing that occurred to me, and I'm not quite sure why, was these guys are in the monster hunting business. They catch sometimes and sometimes kill these monsters.
Yep.
Do they always kill them, or do they sometimes catch them?
No, they kill them.
Oh, they always kill them. So I was going to say, like, what do they do with them if they catch them?
No, demons are like completely just evil. They gotta take them out.
They're not meant.
Yeah, we have a demon getting his head blown off.
Well, that was the problem they had in Ghostbusters. They thought they could store them in Ghostbusters, obviously, and then didn't quite work out so well for them. So your guys are well aware that they should not be doing that.
Right.
So, all right. So this takes place in present day. They are monster hunters. This is an 80-page graphic novel written by you, art by CANALES.
Yep.
Very, very cool. And is this going to be a color book, a black and white book?
Grayscale, kind of like Ninja Turtles from 1980s.
Very cool. Very cool. College of the Dead was black and white. A lot of graying effects and stuff like that. Came out great. It's very cool. Some things are meant to be black and white, obviously. And what the hell, man? I mean, you make it look great. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
so
I'm a huge fan of Grayscale. I think it was because I grew up more with European and Spanish comic than American comics. So we didn't have the whole color culture that you guys have, because American comics have this really vibrant color scheme, and we were like poorer and probably lazier. So a lot of our comics were in black and white.
Yeah.
And I also love manga, so I love the whole dot matrix shading style that the Japanese have.
Oh, yeah. Wow, look at your pages. This is cool.
And I'm basically just reading manga at this point. I'm not really reading American comics anymore, so I'm used to black and white.
Can't say I blame you.
I'm big on black and white. Most of the stuff I ever publish is black and white. I publish some color, but mostly black and white. You could do a lot with black and white. You really can. And for printing purposes, just getting going, it's good to do black and white.
Right.
This is nice art.
Thank you.
Are you doing a unique style for this, CANALES, or is this just?
This is more loose and cartoony than Ironsides, because Zach watches my style like a hawk. He knows exactly what he wants, and he wants it to be grounded and realistic, and a couple of times he's told me to tone down the cartoony side, keep it serious. This is supposed to be like a semi-dramatic story. This is not. SOS is pure violent fun, so I'm going the cartoony route with it.
Very cool. And now Alejandro Mirabal from Long Harbor did this cover for you, huh?
Yep.
That's cool. Oh, you can really see the motion here. That blowing effect.
He's really good at designing monsters. It's amazing.
He is a genius at it. Well, everybody was blown away by his Long Harbor project. And
I wish I got back. It looked amazing.
Well, I think they're going to open it back up, aren't they?
Yeah, back in demand.
Okay. And
you have to check it out.
Yeah.
If you look at his bio, he's really interesting in that he was like a marine biologist or something, like working with bizarre underwater creatures.
Nice.
Yeah. If you check it out on Long Harbor, he has a history of, I don't know exactly what he did, but he was like underwater with them, and they, checking out all these crazy, underwater sea creatures that, just exist 1,000 feet deep or something. You don't see them anywhere else. So I'm sure it must have impacted his design sense. But it's just very, very interesting reference. Okay, so this is going to be an 80-page book, because everything CANALES does. CANALES doesn't do 6-page stories or 32-page stories. It's got to be 80 pages. What is it? Is that the minimum, 80? I mean, you're like a 100-page CANALES guy. You like doing a lot of pages, right, CANALES? You're big on it. Well, Abductables was not that big, was it?
I think it was 52 pages. And
Okay.
I thought we could do like single issues, but
No, I mean,
it's
it
just
was, yeah, it
easier.
was, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, I always
Well,
recommend
it doesn't. I mean,
beginner
it's good
writers,
to have a nice
beginner
big
artists
book for
to
the.
try and.
I think
Can you
he's
guys hear
cutting
me?
out.
You cut out. Yeah, he cuts out. Yeah, you're
Hello?
cutting in, you're
Can you
cutting
hear me?
out, but you're around. Yeah, we
we
can. You sound fantastic.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's my
So this book's going to be about.
yeah,
This
sorry,
book
it
will
was
be
my
80
trademark
pages, which is
installation.
Yeah, we love it. Absolutely, we wouldn't change it for the world. No problem, brother. We love Canales. Come on.
Let me get out
so this is
and come back in. Maybe that'll fix it. I'll be right back.
all right. So Chimera, who is here, this is 80 pages, which is a big, nice, juicy book. This is one whole story, but this volume contains issues 1 to 4 of 16 issue storyline. So there's you're planning on 3 additional books at least, right?
Correct. And I'm actually
Awesome.
finishing up volume 4 right now.
Wow. Very cool. All right. Let's take a look at the perks. This looks very reasonably priced. Your feature.
I tried keeping it as cheap as possible.
Yeah, well, it ain't free to make books. That much I can tell you. I know this from experience. So physical copy of the 4-issue graphic novel. And this is book 1, $15. And the plan is to ship in March. And Canales is already drawing this stuff, right?
Correct. And we should be finished by late February, early March, and I would send it to the printers.
Excellent. All right. Now, what is the Argonaut?
That is a 22-page cyberpunk. I'm offering as a stretch goal, but if you just want the book by itself, you can buy it for $6.
Oh, okay. Shipped in a Gemini mailer. Cool. Everybody loves the Gemini mailer.
Yep.
It is important to be able to ship these and get them there in great condition. Obviously, you know that. But the shipping part is hard, and you sound like you're very, very prepared for it.
Oh yeah.
All these things become easier once you get through the second one. I've published a lot of comics in my day, but this was a little bit different. And we had issues with production that I wasn't expecting, and it's amazing how difficult this stuff can be. But everything's shipped, everything's on time, it all worked out. Everything just winds up costing a little more than you expect. That's just how it goes.
Right.
So you're offering a digital option as well. So this is obviously for anybody international or anybody that just prefers digital.
Right.
Cool. I like digital. So what's the story on this Alejandro cover? How did you guys connect?
Well, I noticed his work on Long Harbor, and I wanted to work with him, but he was just doing regular commissions like covers and trading cards. And I'm like, I think I'll just have him do a variant cover. So I asked, and I think we finished this around late September.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So basically just reached out, said, hey, I want to do this. And he's like, all right, here's what it's going to cost you. Bing, bang, boom. That's pretty easy. Keep it simple. All right, you're doing 2 copies of the book, 2 copies of the physical book at $25.
Yep.
Gotcha. 1. Okay, SOS book, SOS 1 variant.
Yeah, a lot of people grabbed that. I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize.
So maybe this should be a featured item, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe make a new one and make it featured because you don't have a graphic.
Right.
Graphic helps. And people do know his name. Alejandro's pretty damn impressive cat. Very impressive guy. So is Canales too, but just that color is people like him. Variant cover. What, I keep clicking on the wrong damn thing. Okay, so 1 copy of SOS Volume 1. Interesting. All right, and that's just the Alejandro cover. But this, oh wait a minute, I went up. instead of, jeez. Oh my God. Well, you do have kind of a lot of perks, so you got to give me a break on that one. All right, so the Alejandro cover by itself is $20, which is over here.
Yep.
The Alejandro cover and plus your regular cover is $30, so they're saving $5 when they get those two.
Yep.
Got it.
Doing a bulk order for retailers, and there are some collectors that like 10 copies.
Cool. Very cool. And you're doing a get drawn into the book. That's also very cool.
Yep.
A lot of people like that. A lot of people are down with that. I was thinking about doing it in the future, but you got to be really well coordinated for that. And the whole book was already done for me for my next book. So it's sort of like you have to go back and change stuff. I'm like, maybe we won't do that. All right, get drawn to the book. So you're becoming a character in the book. So you get to be drawn as a demon or an innocent bystander. Oh, come on, you got to be a demon.
Yeah, people seem to like that.
Yeah, demon's where it's at. And you'll look like a demon?
Yes, and then you transform, then you won't be so recognizable.
You know what else I learned from Simon Poitier, who's one of the COMICSGATE publishers, is people like to get killed as well.
Yes, and the demon does get killed.
Okay. Oh, no, but they like to, like, you if you could get killed by a demon.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, if you do like a get killed by a demon, people may go for that. And then if you include the original artwork of you getting killed by a demon, that's people like this. I was on a stream and an early stream, and I was kind of just getting new into the COMICSGATE guys, and one of the guys is on and he was like, well, yeah, you're gonna get killed by a vampire or a werewolf or something like that. And it was like $400, and he bought it, and I was like, why would you spend $400 on it? I don't really understand. But then I later kind of understood, like, you know, it's, for me, I was drawn into some of my comics as a character, like a long time ago, let's put it that way. And it was really cool at the time. And then after a while, it's kind of like, all right, well, you know, you've done it before. But yeah, to do it the first time, it's a lot of fun and it's worth it. I would definitely recommend, if somebody has the money and they haven't been drawn into a comic yet, this would be to be drawn by CANALES and be part of the SOS universe. Even if you get killed or, you know, just on this one page, just for $100, that's a damn good deal.
Yep.
Very cool. And you guys are not selling any of the original artwork yet?
No, I didn't really consider it.
Is CANALES doing digital or traditional?
I think he's doing it traditional, and I think he scans it.
Oh, okay. Well, something for you guys to think about. People like to buy original artwork too. Well, obviously, that's between the two of you guys, but it is something people like. You know, I have a little bit of new original art that we're doing for the next College of the Dead book, and but I don't really want to. I really don't want to sell any of that stuff. So it's just tough. You know, you love the work so much. Oh, there's CANALES. Whoops. Hey, sorry, CANALES.
It's okay. I've been enjoying the silence. I had to draw anyway.
Yeah, you're always drawing, huh?
I'm always drawing. It's it's almost 4 a.m. here. I'm still drawing because I promised Chimera here that I will have a page ready for today, and I'm a man of my word.
Fantastic. That's why people love you, man. That's why people are crazy about you. CANALES, what else should we know about SOS? Is there anything about this project that you're really psyched about, that makes it really special for you?
Well, at first I like the idea of drawing demons, you know, kind of like, I'm going to say Urotsuki Doji, like that old hentai, because, you know, it may be hentai, but I think the idea is pretty cool. I mean, come on, there's like demons out there dressed as humans who go around, okay, raping schoolgirls and all that we could do without. But, you know, I always like that idea, the whole idea of demons disguised as humans living among us. And also, the dialogues are insane. Okay. I remember laughing out loud when I first read the script, and there's a bit, I think it's right there in the campaign as well, that says the war is not over until I have cocaine.
The war is not over until I have cocaine?
Yeah, it's in the video.
That's a literal quote.
It's in the video.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a lot of black humor, kind of like Adult Swim humor. If you ever watch shows on Adult Swim, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
I think that's why Chimera says that I'm fit for the project, because I have the same kind of humor. I mean, I just mentioned hentai as an influence. So
Yeah, that's craziness. That's fun. Chimera, you've written other comics. This isn't the first comic you've written, right?
It was the first project I ever made, but I've written them. I have some side projects I'm working on.
Okay. Have you been published yet, or is this the first thing you're publishing?
I was published on Comic Central, which is now defunct, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a one-shot called Division 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the whole thing is, I don't know if you know Von Klaus from Monster ID, Monster MD. It's CANALES. It's fine. He sent out a tweet the other day that was very cool. He was commenting on something that a screenwriter wrote. And it was like, you don't wait to be discovered, basically. Just go ahead and feel like you're being acquired. Meaning, like, just go and do your thing. What the hell are you doing, Canales?
I'm drawing. What? Yeah. Okay. I was going to say that that's something that I like about Americans, that they don't wait until people come and pick them up. They pick themselves up, and that, I think, that's the main difference between Spaniards and Americans. Here we just sit on our asses and expect the world to hand stuff to us, while Americans, just go out there and start publishing stuff and just hope for the best.
Yeah, and we stumble, and that's totally fine. It's fine to not, be as successful as you want something to be, like the first time out. You work as hard as you can to make it a success, but not everything is, at its final level of success when you first start. And it's fine to, fail on some things and whatnot, but you don't fail, you just get started and then you get going. Can you guys see this tweet from Von Klaus?
Yep.
Okay. So I like this. I wanted to do a video about this specifically because I like people seeing, like, look, from people on the outside looking in, like, well, how do you kind of get this going? And, how do you go from not being in it to kind of being in it and then being successful in it? And this was a thread that he picked out. And the quote here was, "Stop thinking about the business as something to break into and start thinking about yourself as a business to be acquired," by this screenwriter, Christopher McQuarrie. And he's just explaining that he's getting asked by a lot of writers, like, how do you sell your scripts? How do you submit your scripts? And he tells it here that, like, even after 7 years of winning his Academy Award, his career stalled. So you would think, like, in fact, I'm going to follow this dude. After you win an Academy Award, it shouldn't be that hard. He actually got me when he wrote that. So he's a good writer. I'm like, all right, now I'm really interested in what you have to say, because I wouldn't even imagine that you could win an Academy Award and that your career would be stalled. But it was. So he was expecting that the process where you're just kind of blindly submitting your script and sending stuff into submission departments doesn't work. And it's not empowering to you, it's empowering to other people that just constantly submit your screenplay, send your work in, write a cover letter, bother people to ask them if they looked at it yet. So what it's about is asking permission to sign away your dream, to sign away what you really want to do. And as he said, after 20 years of doing it, the secret to making movies for him, he makes movies, is to start with little movies that no one's going to care about and no one's ever going to see. So just, start doing stuff and even failing, just to start doing it. And the secret of success, he's saying, is doing what you love, whether or not you're being paid. The secret to rewarding career in film, many other fields such as ours, is focusing entirely on execution and not on result. So don't worry about, is it going to succeed or not? Deliver the product. Deliver it. Execute. Do the product. He really does a nice job with this thread. This is really worth looking at. I'll have to add this to the description, and I'll post it in the comments right here too. Because the thing is it's difficult to explain this, and then sometimes, look, anybody can get discouraged. Oh, it's Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, he has a point because
You agree with that,
what did I
Canales?
do? What did I do this time? Sorry, I was going to say that I'm thinking about John Carpenter, who is probably my favorite director, and he got an Oscar for a short film he made as a student, and he never got an Oscar again. And I don't think he ever. He had a couple of box office hits, but for the most part of his life, he was like a B-movie director. He didn't really got paid much. He was always fighting the studios, and you can tell he was the kind of guy that would love what he did, even if it didn't like give him many benefits or like made a lot of money. So you can tell when someone loves his craft, which is something that, for example, in movies, I think it's more lost.
You know what? It becomes part of the project, and it becomes part of what people are paying for. And you know, we all know Ethan Van Sciver. We feel like we know him well because we've seen a lot of his live streams. But you know that he loves his Frog comic, and he loves what he does, and he feels really, really grateful to be able to do that and to do his own work for himself and for his fans. And you feel like when you're buying his product, part of what you're buying is his freedom. But also you're not just doing it for him, you're doing it for you too, because you know you have a piece of that when you buy someone's work, and they're getting to be there, they're getting to do their passion. And you know, when it becomes so antiseptic and you're so removed personally from the product and from your connection with the customer, it's unfortunate because people don't get to relate to it. They don't get to appreciate it. You know, I think we all know how Stan Lee seemed to feel about his characters and his stories too. And, you know, the guy loved them. And he put so much into them. And it attracted so many other people. Why did all those other people go work for Marvel and do their best work? You know, there was Charlton Comics, there's Archie Comics, there's DC Comics, and they were all known for different things. But there's no more of a personal connection with a mainstream superhero than Spider-Man. Because we're all feel like Spider-Man at some point in our lives, that disconnected teenager. So it's
well,
just
apparently not. If you don't have the same sex, race, or orientation, that's what they say anyway, right?
yeah, they're trying to wipe out as much of the properties as they can. And there's an attack on that stuff. There's an attack on Western civilization because the culture is so powerful. It's so empowering, and it feeds the sovereignty and the identity of the individual versus the power elite that, you know, lord over the individuals. And in Western civilization, we believe that government is here to serve the people, not for the people to serve the government. And that's what all of our stories tell us. You know, that's what the individual hero is fighting for, is his own individualism and his opportunity to just live a merit-based life. But that comes at the exception of the elite being able to do whatever they want and do whatever they want with individuals, and to take people's rights away. It's always a struggle for power and money, and it's really always a struggle for power, even more so than money, because they've got all the money they need. They control the money.
Right.
But that's why our stories are so important, because these are the stories of the future. This is the opportunity for people in the future to be able to live free lives and have examples of characters and heroes. Comics, of course, should just be entertaining too. But there's really nothing wrong with seeing somebody, you know, even like the Joker is an evil character, but he at least had a story arc. He started somewhere, he wound up somewhere else, and everything he did that was evil, it was him doing it on his own, by his own choices. And that's the power of the individual, which can sometimes be bad power, but better that than to have, you know, just an all-powerful government and have a dystopia.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an individualist, probably because I was a lonely kid and I like to read. while other kids, like sports. It's the old sad tale of the nerdy kid. But yeah, I mean, I think most of the atrocities in human history have been made by people who didn't believe in individualism, right? I mean, most of the genocides all out there and the warlords and all that, they were collectivists.
Yeah, you can't. You unfortunately
Oh,
Having some
getting it straight. You can't have a technical problem. You can't have we knock out my power again? Hopefully not. You can't have freedom without individualism. And when you start taking away people's rights, you start taking away their humanity. There is no humanity. You're not different from a farm animal or an algorithm or an avatar if you don't have different, human dignity and different rights. Right. I mean, if it's just the government gets to decide, like, well, we feel this is best. We feel that is best. You don't need this. You don't need that. It's not supposed to be doing that. That's not the way we were raised in Western cultures. And you see with people out in Hong Kong, all they want to do is they want to be left alone. And the government's like, no, we can't leave you alone. And they're dying in the streets and fighting in the streets for it.
Yeah, and apparently there's lots of people in the cultural elite that think that China's awesome and that they had a point, right?
What was that?
I said that there's apparently a lot of people in the cultural elite that think that China is awesome, that maybe they have a point.
Yeah, it's look, who knows what's going to happen over there. Hopefully, all you want people to have a right to live their lives based on merit, to decide what they want to do with their lives. People don't get a chance to live forever. Life is precious. The ability to express yourself and speak truth and your personal truth is precious. And people should not be comfortable giving up any of their freedoms. If you give up one of your freedoms, it's going to damage the quality of your life, generations ahead of you, and you'll be giving up a lot more freedoms. Chimera, you're not a communist or anything like that. You believe in this stuff, right?
No, I'm a communist.
Oh, come on, Chimera. Let us convince you.
No,
it's okay if you are used to be one, believe it or not.
Did you?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
before he met you?
Well, I'm European, right? I mean, that's what they teach us. I mean, if in Europe, if you're not a communist when you're a teenager, I mean, you have no soul. And if you're not a conservative when you're older, then you have no brain. That's how the saying goes.
That is how the saying goes.
Well,
what do you think of the EU over there? Do you like him?
If you're asking me, I'm not the biggest fan, actually. I mean, it used to be a time in which the whole of Europe, fought to not be under the rule of Germany, right? And
yeah.
Look at us now.
Yeah, you're at Germany's whim, unfortunately. And you can't get rid of that Merkel. She won't go away.
Yeah, Merkel or, whoever there is in her post. I mean, we all know that Merkel is just a puppet. It's the ones ruling the union are actually the bureaucrats. There's a bunch of documentaries on it on YouTube. And if you're interested in the whole subject, you will see that no one seems to really be in charge. It's just a bunch of bureaucrats making decisions, just because. Not
going through his circles.
Yeah,
I saw a Brexit documentary and it was shocking. And it was talking about what they do in Brussels and how, like, once a year they move all their files from one country to another country because they can't agree about something. And I guess Brussels, the European Union's financials have not been audited since like ever or something, or there was something wrong with the financials for years. But you got to kind of wonder, like, what the hell are they actually doing over there? Like, who are these people that get to say what's going on in your country and have a Supreme Court of their own that gets to make decisions about what goes on in your and other countries?
Yeah, that's the old Soviet problem that people in Moscow would decide what people in Ukraine had to do with their crops or with their cattle or whatever. while the people in Moscow didn't have to deal with the consequences of their decisions.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then this stuff, and now you guys have negative interest rates. Are you familiar with that?
Dude, well, I'm not the biggest expert on economics, so if I say something stupid, please correct me.
No. I mean, I'm no, and believe me, I'm no expert on it. I just have a little awareness of it. But it's just like, so if companies borrow money, they actually get paid to borrow money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we actually have a problem with the fact that we actually have like industrial manpower here, but we insist on buying stuff from other countries, even though we can produce it ourselves, which is something that I don't understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have, and you're in Spain, right?
Yeah, I'm in Spain, but only in body. In spirit, I'm actually a proud American, I think.
Yeah, we have you here. You're here in spirits. Where your comics go. So, what is your? I mean, this is turning into an odd conversation about SOS, but it's CANALES stuff. Don't you guys have kind of a high unemployment rate?
Oh, our unemployment rate is insane. I think it's something like 21%.
Oh my God.
Like wow. You know, there's lots of people who make fun of me because I live with my parents at my advanced age, but it's actually pretty normal here in Spain. I mean, something like 60% of people between ages, I don't know, 20 and 40, something like that, live with their parents because buying a flat here, because we don't have houses here, we have flats. It's like buying a flat in Manhattan. A flat, or you know, you can always rent a flat, but you know, considering what they pay, well, this is another thing. Someone someone did the math, and you're going to pay half of your working year to the government. So if your salary
half of your earnings are going to go to taxes.
Yeah. Let's say if you're earning like 50K a year, which I heard that in the US is like middle class, right? 50K is middle to low class.
Sure.
Well, here in Spain, that makes you a bourgeois. That means you're extremely lucky. Well, you're going to be paying 50% of those 50K to the government.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's a very high unemployment rate. And things have gotten worse since you were with the EU?
I want to say yes, because I don't know if they use the whole transition from pesetas or old currency to euros to like steal from us or something, but they kind of rounded it up. Know what I mean? X pesetas are X2 euros, something like that. And while the prices went up, our salaries remained exactly the same. There was no rounding up for salaries.
Interesting. And also, what I heard about, like with Greece, when they went into the euro, a lot of people like got credit that never had credit before, and then people borrowed a lot of money and bought a lot of stuff on credit, and that was fine for a little while. Did that happen with Spain too? A lot of credit
because of I get a lot of shit when I say that, because I'm apparently a very fascist that sides with the capitalist and all that. But it's true. I mean, it was a scam, and we bought right into it. I mean, they offered us like, I don't know, low interest rates, massive what's the word in English? Loans, massive loans, low interest rates, and we really thought it was going to be like that. And it was just a bubble. And before we knew it, we were selling our houses at ridiculous prices to the banks.
And that was after the euros, right?
Yeah, that was like probably 10 years ago, something like that.
Because that was part of what they did when they rolled out the euro. Because what I heard was there's an economist, his name is Mark Blythe, but he sounds like Shrek, because I guess he's from Ireland or something. And that's he's like, people always think I sound like Shrek, because I do. I come from Ireland. And he's a teacher. He used to be a stand-up comedian. So it's like really interesting to hear him talk about economics, because he's like a professor and a comedian, so he's like really well spoken. I like guys like that. Not that there's a lot of them, but when I find them, they're cool. But he was saying like people got tricked into, they switched to the euro, and then basically like Greece used to have very high inflation, and they used to have to pay very high interest rates. But when they switched to the euro, they were paying the same interest rates as a country that Germany was paying, and Germany notoriously has excellent credit. So a lot of people lent money to the country of Greece, and a lot of citizens borrowed a lot of money, very, very low interest rates, but it was still the same country, and it was still like the same people. Like it was just part of the culture to not take debts as seriously, and it worked out terrible for them. That's where all the austerity came from and all the other financial problems. But this stuff doesn't happen by mistake. That's the unfortunate thing. Hopefully you guys will get out of that system, and we gotta have freedom. We gotta have freedom. Gotta have it. We also gotta have.
I don't know, man. We've always been a deeply. Sorry.
Always been what? Go ahead.
Breaking off again, I think.
We can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that we've always been a deeply socialist country. Can you hear me?
Well,
breaking off
again?
Yeah,
I can hear you. Well, I do a little bit, but I could pretty much make it out. I just want you to do well. I want you to keep doing comics. SOS looks great. Monster Hunters are awesome. Your grayscale looks great. A lot of great energy. It's great design, and
so
you have
New York City. I'm always thrilled to draw New York City.
New York City is cool.
Marvel was one of my influences, like Spider-Man, being in New York City. So I just figured to put it there.
Yeah, DC was always Gotham City, right? They never used New York.
Yeah, and they always use like fictional cities like Central City, Metropolis, etc.
It's really cool to use a real city. Yeah. And Marvel is in New York City. Yes, they sort of still were. They sort of still are, but not really. Yeah. Well, everybody should check out SOS. This is good campaign to back. It's a good campaign to share also. Everybody can share this campaign if you're not ready to back it. There's 46 days left. It's totally been funded on a flexible goal. So this book is definitely getting done. I can tell that Canales is obviously a very serious guy. Chimera sounds like very cool people. He's going to be doing, I'm sure, other projects past this first one. And this is the first of a 4-book series. It looks really cool. I am going to back it. I'm going to share it myself as well.
Thank you. And
it's very cool to talk to you guys. This is a little unstructured. I don't usually talk about European finance and things like that, but I'm starting to have a little bit more fun with you guys on these streams. I think it's important. It's cool to back this project. Thanks everybody who showed up for the chat, everybody who's watching it after it's been replayed, and back SOS. It's a really, really cool looking campaign, and it will be shipping in March. Get March 2020. So get it, get ready for it. And guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you.
No problem.
Have a great night, everybody.
My pleasure.